Okay, well, that was interesting. What happened is there was a plugin failure and I just got cut out. So I am back. Sorry about that. Now, what I started to say was this is about power of self-expression. And in the models, the three models, you will find the solution to, I will say, any human issue. You can help people balance any emotional issue, anything that's going on in their lives, the relationship with themselves, and also help them heal the physical body. When, it's like using these three models right, you will find the combination. It's like a combination lock. You can find the right combination for every person. Nikki is back on, it looks like, with a headset. There we go. Can you hear me, Nikki?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. So with us today, we have Nicola Mansfield, who has already gone through this training. So would you like to say a few words, Nikki, about, what is this? I mean, who are you? How are you working with this now? And I mean, what has it been like for you to go through this process?
Yeah, of course. Can I just check that you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can everyone else hear her? Great. Okay, they can. So go ahead.
Thank you. I started with Ina quite a while ago with some coaching sessions for myself and then got involved with the Body Transformation Quest. I've done quite a lot of the quest myself on a personal basis and going forwards and learnt so much on a very deep and core level. It's helped me with my self-expression. It's helped me how I speak to people, how I present myself, and I now use it and have support groups for people with weight issues. And I'm just about to launch a new program as well to
Yes, you're
involve.
using it professionally right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How has it been like? I know that I mean, a big part of this process is to work on ourselves. To make sure that we get a full alignment in our own emotional issues and to clear out all the conditioning that's in us. What has that process been like for you? Have you noticed a difference?
Yep, I've noticed a huge difference. I've cleared out so many demons. Um, I now know who I am and which way forwards I would like to go.
Great. So with me today, because she's gone, as I said, gone through the program and knows the material very well. So she will be doing a little bit of co-presenting with me today. So and as we move forward with the program, I'm sure you'll all get to know her very well as well. I'm sure she'll also be available to help you with your own processing and your own work on yourself. As you move through the program. So yeah, so we're working on self-expression, and self-expression in the chakra model is directly linked with the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is, as you can imagine, it's in the throat area. And in Sanskrit, the word for the throat chakra means purification. This is where it gets interesting, because the throat chakra, of course, it has to do with to speak and be heard. It resonates on a frequency with the truth. What is true? And if there's any issues with voice, with the thyroid gland, even with the mouth, you can imagine the jaws is where the sound actually is coming out. The ears, the vocal cords. There is some misalignment when it comes to the truth. It doesn't mean that that person is lying, but you can imagine, in our journey through life, we go through, we take on a lot of conditioning. We take on ways of doing things, ways of thinking. We get told things, and we start performing, we start being in a way that is not always coming from our core self, from our true selves. If anything at all is out of alignment, it affects the throat chakra. And the throat chakra, the word purification, one way we could use the throat chakra is to purify and get rid of all our conditioning. So we're going to use, today we're going to do an exercise that will help start doing this and clearing up layer by layer by layer, both all of your relationships, but also the energetic imprint in yourself and the energetic imprint between you and other people. The interesting thing about the throat chakra is also that it seems to impact the state of the body and like how toxic is the body. If the throat chakra is very out of alignment, the body seems to hold on to toxins and get, almost like the body inside is cluttered. So self-expression, it links in with the throat chakra, and it links in with one of the 12 keys, and it's the key that is called letting go. And the letting go key has two areas. It has to do with the self-expression, and it also has to do with like clearing up any clutter in our lives, and this includes detoxing our bodies. So that, as we work through this, and next week, by the way, we're going to cover the rest of this key, the letting go key, which is, currently I think it's key number 10, but the order of those might change because it's a spiral process. So it's not, even if they're called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's not necessarily the order we work in. So as we move forward from the matrix that these three models create, you will quickly and easily be able to know when you start working with a person, like what do I need to pull from where? What is it this particular person needs? What's out of alignment? Because, we're not, in this process, we're not trying to become someone else. We're not trying to find the new you or, the better you or anything like that. I'm sorry, everyone. I got kicked out again. That was fun. I hope that doesn't happen or keep happening. I'm going to say a little bit about the throat chakra. So, we know that anatomy-wise, this is the area of the throat, and neck, the mouth, the thyroid gland, and it also very much affects the hair and the skin. If for example, hair and skin gets thin and sensitive or dry, we're looking at some kind of issue around the throat chakra. The age where this kicks in is between 6 and 12 years. This is where we're meant to find our true self-expression. So development-wise, the chakras develop from the bottom. So, you know, the root chakra is the first kind of 6 months of our lives, the first year maybe. And then the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is kind of from 6 months to 2 years. Okay, this is getting more and more fun. I keep getting kicked out. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. I'm really very sorry. We will just have to keep trying. I might have to use another computer next time. I'm not sure what it is. So, throat chakra has to do with expressing and receiving vibration. And imagine, you know, in the kind of personal development, in releasing issues, we are really raising our vibration. And by the way, I don't know how much interest you have in the area of astrology, but we are facing in about 3 weeks' time, or 2 weeks' time actually, it's around the 22nd of April, we are facing the most powerful thing that we've seen in the skies for, you know, thousands and thousands of years. It's called the Cardinal Grand Cross. And what this is doing on a world level, on a global level, is clearing out. It's really like releasing the pain body of the world. So it's creating energetically a lot of chaos, because as chaos happens, it helps our purification. It's like part of what has to happen for us to release the pain body is to, it's like we feel worse before it gets better. And, you know, this is how progress happens anywhere in the world, really. You know, we have to stir up the issue so that we can, you know, look at it again and release it. So this, you know, just know that the next 2 weeks, whatever you want to clear in yourself, you have powerful, powerful energies with you. And you might have been feeling, you know, you might have been feeling fear, feelings. I'll turn the dog off, Nikki. And you might have had just been feeling out. I don't know if anyone has experienced anything like that, you know, that, you know, things are being stirred up, you know, people around you might be a bit volatile. But anyway, that's what's going on. And I did want to say one more thing that has, you know, very little to do with what we're talking about today. I have managed to organize, you know, some of you were interested in the shamanic ceremonies, or the tea that helps clear out a lot of the pain body. And I managed to do that, and it will be the second weekend in June. So anyone who's interested, we won't be talking about that here, but, you know, feel free to just email me, or we can have a call about it. But at least we have managed to find dates and to make it happen. I think it's the 13th and 14th, at least it's that weekend of, you know, in June. So yeah, throat chakra. So vibration was where I detoured, because, you know, as we do these exercises with the throat chakra, we are literally raising our vibration. And the throat chakra has to do with communicating what we want, what we feel, you know, artistic expression, bringing to the outside what we had on the inside, or what we have on the inside. So it's like the power of words. taking in and assimilating communication, sound, self-expression, speaking, writing, speaking your truth, being successful in the world, assimilating, clear communication, creativity, resonance, and the relationship with the space around us. This is where we communicate. Now, how we work on this is where it kind of gets interesting, because so many of us hold back so much of our truth. It might not mean that we mean to, but because we have blocked off, parts of our emotions, we might have blocked off part of our connection with ourselves. So it's like if we, for example, just as an example, if we're not in touch with what's going on in the second chakra, in the sacral chakra, then the sacral chakra is where we feel our needs, where we feel our emotions, where we feel what things are like for us. Then we get very tied up. It's like energy gets tied up because we have held back so much, and this stays in the body. It stays in the muscular system. It stays in the memory of the body that says, I cannot fully and completely be myself in the world. So as we do this work, we will start releasing that, and it will help release the energy bit by bit by bit by bit, so that we can, free ourselves from all of that holding back that's going on. So why do we stop speaking up? As we grow up, you can imagine that, sometimes we have to. It's like we get feelings come up, like say anger, and we might be told by our parents, you can't do that, you can't behave like that, you can't talk like that, you can't be a certain way, and we start pushing those feelings down, holding them back, and it really affects our bodies. It's absolutely fine to know when to express something, to not just go around shouting, screaming at people all the time. But at the same time, we need the freedom inside us to be able to express it. That's really, really important. Now, what happens between a parent and a child is very key here. However we related as children to the people around us. This might be parent, it might be other people, it might be a teacher, it might even be our friends as a child. How we related to them, it freezes in the nervous system. It's like there is an imprint that says, okay, this is fixed. This is frozen. It's like if you've had an argument with someone and it hasn't, been resolved, that issue is stuck in your nervous system. If you had a difficult relationship with one or even both of your parents, that gets stuck in the nervous system. And that is what creates trauma. That is what creates difficult feelings. That is what keeps these issues holding on in our lives. And that's where the problem is. So we take this with us because whatever happened in the past, we can actually let go of. They say it's never too late to have a happy childhood, no matter what happened. Because the unhappy childhood is represented in our nervous system. The thing is, no matter how bad it was, it is over. It's finished. And where it's still going on is in our nervous system. So what we're going to be doing today is to start looking at how can we release that? How can we let it go? And this has also to do with a relationship where you have what we call emotional boards. So it's like, who do you need to release? Who do you need to forgive? And it might be that you need to forgive yourself. in some areas. So this is about letting go of any resentments, any incomplete energies with anyone. This is about, making the apologies we need to make. This is about saying, to tell a person, this is what it's like for me. But the good news is we don't have to do that to the actual person, because if we were to show up with a person, now and say, you did this to me and you were like this, and so sometimes that's useful, but in many cases we're still operating from an energy that's so old that it's better if we can release it in our old nervous, in our own nervous system before we start the work of recreating the relationship with the actual person. So we're going to do this work in ourselves first, so that we don't go around in our lives and basically make a lot of enemies, because that's what, if we try to do this with the actual person, with the old energy still there, it's just not helpful. So some of the issues that we might need to express are things like, it might be anger, maybe we've held back the impulses of the third chakra, the impulses of, that wild, crazy, angry energy, which is also, by the way, connected to our energetic drive. If we block our anger, we block our life force, literally. And this does not mean that we have to become these angry, horrible people. It's just we need that energy to be freed up so that we have access to it when we do need it. And we say, it's about expressing the right thing to the right person with the right intensity at the right time. Does that make sense? And so some of the things that we might need to express to people that get out of our system, it could be softer feelings. It could be things like, you know what, you weren't there for me. You let me down. You didn't take care of me and love me. We might need to confront somebody about what they did to us. Some of us had horrible things done to us as children. It might be abuse of various kinds. And to really speak up about, this is what it was like for me. It's also, what were the things you wanted? What are the things you really want in your life? What is it you long for and desire? That might be what you need to express. Maybe you need to express the truth in a deeper way. This is who I am. I've been hiding a lot of who I am. Or you need to say, this is, you didn't see me. This is who I really am. This is what I want and need. This is what I will tolerate. This is what I won't tolerate anymore. It might be that you need to expose and share something you might be a little bit ashamed of. Something you've been holding back. When we hold back on, on shameful things, it's very toxic to us. You might be angry that you allowed yourself to be treated a certain way, and that you didn't maintain your boundaries. Things you want to, things you don't want to. You might need to express that you're not happy about the way a certain relationship is going, whether it's a friendship or another kind of relationship. And it's about expressing our feelings, even when we might face rejection, disapproval. And this can be a really daunting task. So again, what are you sorry for? What has upset you? What has hurt you? What has disappointed you? And say, this is what I need. This is what I don't want. This is what I want. Or even help me. Maybe it is about expressing vulnerability. What things do you think or fear that you might have done wrong? What would you have wanted? What do you need to clear up with someone? And etc. Maybe you're scared of something. Maybe you're hurt by something. Where have you not been authentic? What are your real needs and wants and desires? So it's like, maybe you need to come clean and tell the truth about something you did or something you didn't do. So how this works, I'm going to turn Nikki on again. So, you there, Nikki? Sorry, it's taken a little while.
Hi.
Hi, great. Okay, so um, how have you been using this exercise? Because you've done this quite a few times, haven't you?
I have, yes. I always know when I need to do this exercise when I start to cough a lot, which is when I'm not being
What happens
authentic.
when oh, really? So when you're not being authentic somewhere, you start coughing, is that right?
Yes, when I'm not being authentic or I'm not having healthy boundaries, then I notice that I get an irritating cough.
Oh, that's interesting. What I mean, how has the exercise helped you? Could you give an example of something that you worked through with it?
Yes. I would let people always speak to me and treat me as they wanted to without having any healthy boundaries and speaking up. Or if I did ever speak up, it would always be from a position of anger, which always come across in the wrong way and with the wrong emotions. So I had somebody in my life who treated me quite badly,
Yeah.
and I had to use the exercise to go through what exactly was going on underneath my anger and my vulnerability.
Yeah.
And how I spoke up and how I withheld my boundaries on a healthy level.
Right.
And
So, and how would you do that with this exercise? I mean, let me just explain the exercise, because literally what we do, we imagine the person we need to express something to in front of us, and we start expressing it, but we do it in our own mind, so we don't even do it out loud. You know, sometimes you find these exercises where you know, speak to a chair or you express it to another person, like a role play. But I find that you know, just doing it inside ourselves, you know, because all of our issues is connected in with the body and in with the nervous system, so we can do all the work inside. You know, we don't have to speak up, because sometimes when these things, especially the very difficult feelings, come out with the actual voice, we censor ourselves and we start holding back. So we're going to imagine, you know, this person, and sometimes you might be surprised at who shows up, because you're literally asking your subconscious mind, who do I need to express something to, and see who shows up. You know, who is it I need to clarify something with, and then start very gently expressing what you need to express. And you know, any energy might come out, and it's useful to do this, you know, more than one time. I mean, this is something that I continue to use, because there are different energies at different times. You know, the first layer might, for example, be anger, but anger is always a blanket for another emotion. You know, anger is like a desperate way of trying to, you know, get our boundaries back, you know. And then when we move past anger, usually we find much softer feelings of, you know, having been hurt, having been scared, for example. So, you know, we never know what energy is going to show up. And also when we do this in our nervous system, you might find like really, almost like really intense, scary feelings, like almost like the feeling of wanting to kill someone. I mean, I've had clients who really almost like, I want to strangle them. And you know, this exercise, it's okay to do that. It's actually okay to pretend you're doing that, because as soon as you allow that impulse to flow through you, it releases its grip. It's gone. You have cleared it, and most likely you're not going to feel that way again. And that held back energy is cleared from your system. And remember, even if you personally, you know, might not, you know, have things as extreme as that, if it comes up in a client, just allow it, and tell them and reassure them that this is okay. This is a normal human way of feeling. I mean, you can imagine this could be the frozen impulses of a very small child who had no other way of expressing themselves. And all we want is allowing any impulse to flow through the body so that we're no longer bound and tied up and held back. And then what's going to happen is that clears from your system and you go back in alignment to the core, and where your grown-up self can operate, you know, your higher self, your core self, your essence. So this is really just allowing the stuff to clear out, you know, get rid of it. So yeah, sorry, Nikki, what you know, what examples do you have of how specifically you used it? I mean, what emotions came up for you?
Mine was, the first few times I did it, there was a lot of anger, and I like to put myself in a room on my own to go into this. But once I got beyond the anger, there was a lot of sadness, hurt, tears,
Yeah.
and
Because
allowing
what was sorry?
and allowing myself to feel the hurt and the sadness.
Right, yeah, because are you okay with me saying that? I mean, like saying a few
Yes.
things about it. I mean, I won't go in detail, but it's like, I know for you, anger was very much the blanket, wasn't it? Like that was the feeling you felt, almost like pushing people away,
Yes.
or holding people at a distance with anger, because the feelings underneath was so vulnerable, so, you know, scared and alone, really, that it's, you know, when we're trying to access those, it can be, it's just so difficult if we didn't, especially if we didn't as children have somebody who was there to nurture and take care of those feelings and allow those feelings.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And what happened for you when you got to the softer levels?
To allow myself to cry and feel the hurt and the sadness that I've held inside for such a long time, that has also made me ill. To be able to release that was a huge relief.
Would you be willing to say a little bit about how you got ill? In what way? I know your body was really expressing itself quite a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Over the years, I've had 4 cancer scares, and when I've actually done the exercise myself after a few times and gone into this, I felt pain in my body, as in the areas, especially in my neck and my shoulders, and I've just stuck with it and gone through the process and kept going in and peeling away layers to get to my core hurt.
Yeah, the core hurt. And what would you say your core hurt was about?
My core hurt was having quite high boundaries from where I've allowed people to treat me as they want and say things about me, and I've never spoken up for myself in an authentic way unless it's been with anger.
Yeah. So MJ asking is step 1, asking your subconscious mind, who do I need to address? I'm going to go through the steps, and I'm even going to do a little demonstration with you. So I will answer all of those things. So I mean, I have seen an incredible process that you've gone through, Nikki, and you know, it's been really beautiful to see. You know, you have had so much courage. You know, everyone, Nikki has literally gone into every pain she had, every fear she had, and just faced it full on, you know, and had incredible results, I would say, as well. I mean, how is your body now?
My body now is a lot lighter. I'm a lot happier. I have healthy boundaries. I'm not afraid to express my feelings or feel emotions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm the authentic me. I know who the real me is now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Great. I mean, it's been really beautiful to see. I want to ask everyone, is there any of you who would like to take part in a demonstration now and explore this exercise with us? Yeah, Asa, do you want to? I'm gonna move the audio over to another person, Nikki. I think that it takes
Okay.
you off, so I'm muting you for a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll all get the chance to do this exercise because, as we move forward now, we're going to be doing the exercises also with each other. I need to know that, as we move forward, that you all master these exercises. Oh, it looks like we can have 3 audios this time. Yay! Are you there?
Hello. Yes.
Hi, you're there. Great. Wonderful. I'm going to turn Nikki up a little bit. Okay, so how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah? How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wonderful. And
mhm.
yeah, we did actually touch on this exercise, didn't we, in one
Yeah,
of
I
our
had
sessions?
yes, I had an experience also with this exercise.
Hmm.
If I may share it.
If you want to, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, toward the person that I wanted to express myself, there was a lot of anger at the beginning, and then later on there was some like hatred, or like it's been holding me down, you know?
Yeah.
And then in one of the exercises, when I was doing it, I felt this pain in my throat, and I felt this need to like shout and just, scream, confront this person.
Mm.
And I did that, and immediately after I finished the exercise, I felt um, like a sore throat, you know?
Mm.
And then
Which is
afterward,
which is very similar to what Nicola was
yeah,
saying as well.
and then
She had.
afterward, yeah, I was sick like for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I
In
just,
what way were you sick? Like in your throat, you mean?
yeah, like I had the flu.
Can you hear me now?
Mm, yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Sorry, I got cut off again. Um, so yeah, so your throat was really, I mean, this is very common when there's anything to do with the throat chakra. Coughing, flu-like symptoms. Sometimes it goes into the lungs. Um, issues around the jaw. People holding back a lot of what they need to express. Also sometimes like bite and grind their teeth.
Mhm.
Really can imagine like what do you need to do with your mouth to make sure you don't speak your truth. I mean, and I'm talking now on a deep subconscious level. Most of the time we're not aware of this going on. So what's going on for you now? Like what would you like to, in what way would you like to explore this exercise today?
Mm, I would like to, I think I have this problem with expressing myself um, in front of others. So I think I'm ready, like, to release it.
Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is just go through the steps, and then I will I will take you through the exercise,
Mhm.
and then we can see what happens. So, the first step in this exercise is, to close our eyes and go inside and, find a place where we feel really centered. You might imagine, a place that is really special for you. Like what I do, I always see myself for some reason on a beach, and I'm sitting against this like log, this big tree log, and there's a fire, like a bonfire. And for some reason, this makes me feel really safe. There's something about fire as well that it feels like it's helping burning the energy, and it just feels, for me personally, it feels safe. So the first
Mhm.
place, we go inside and we find, imagine a place that feels right for us. So, and then once we're centered in that place, we just ask our subconscious mind, you know, what is it? What's the first layer here? What is it I need to express and to whom? So, who appears in front of you? And as soon as that person has shown himself or herself or themselves, it might be a group of people, then, to start imagining that you tell them what you need to tell them. So it's really as simple as that. So I'd like you now to just, go inside, close your eyes,
Mhm.
and imagine the place. And I will be asking you some questions that, just so the others can follow the process, if that's okay with you, about what's
Yeah.
going on for you.
Okay.
So, what kind of place is it you would imagine for yourself?
Mm. In front of a lake in a beautiful garden.
Oh, wonderful. A lake. That's great.
Mhm.
I find that even the elements, the water, the purification through water is wonderful. Fire burning away things. So the unconscious mind will give you exactly what it is that you need. So the lake sounds beautiful. So if you just go inside and, there you are at the lake, find a safe, good place to sit down. And then, notice what is this feeling, because it might start with a problem, it might start with a sensation in the body, it might start with something that you need to express, it might
Mhm.
start with a particular person and you don't even know what's going to come out towards that person.
Yeah.
So for you, what is it?
Um, I feel my jaws are tight.
Your jaw is tight, yeah?
Mhm. I feel some pain in my solar plexus.
Okay, so in the solar plexus, what do you notice in the solar plexus?
Mm. Anger, frustration.
Okay, so we know there is something, there's an anger rising for something, 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 and it is being blocked by your jaw that, so there's something wanting to hold us back. There's an impulse that's blocked. Um, so if you now ask your subconscious mind, who is it I need to express something to? What is the most important person right now for me to clear the next level? So yes, you do bring up, MJ's asking if you should bring up the image of the person in your safe place, and yes. So when we get to this stage, we actually imagine that person in front of us at, whatever distance and in whatever way it's right. For me, they usually sit like on the other side of the fire. Like, so we're almost like in a circle, even if it's just two people. But the fire is somehow between us. So yeah, you do imagine the person. So who comes up for you? Who is showing up if you ask your subconscious mind, who is it I need to express something to today?
Mhm.
Hmm. What do you notice? You don't
my
have to
hand.
say the specific person if you're not comfortable with that, but
Okay.
it's up to you. Can you see that person?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Can I
him.
ask if it's a man or? Huh?
Yeah, it's my father.
It's your father.
Let's see
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Very often, the first layers that we have to clear out has to do with our parents. Sometimes those are the last layers, because there's always going to be some residual energy to do with our parents. So, great. So there you are by the lake. There's your father in front of you. And I want you now, just in the privacy of your own mind, to start expressing what you need to express to your father.
Okay.
And if you can, if you're okay with it, if you,
Mm-hmm.
as you go, just tell us a little bit about what's going on. You don't have to say exactly what you're saying to your father, but just,
Mm-hmm.
just to help us kind of follow the process for you, would be great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my hands are cold.
Okay. So just notice your hands. Your hands are cold. There's somehow energy is not allowed to flow into the hands. Just imagine what would happen if it was. What's the purpose of the hands here?
Creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hands and the arms have a lot of purposes, creativity, creating things, expressing things, hugging people, say, we stretch our arms out as babies and say, hey, come and get me, hold me, love me. And, but we also used to push away people, to hurt people, to hit people. They can do many things. Just notice what it is you need to say to him. What are you noticing? What's going on for you?
I'm just expressing myself.
So just keep doing that. Just allowing any emotion, any impulse, and that goes for all of you. There's, any impulse, whatever it is, allow it. And sometimes maybe you want to scan your body and notice where am I holding back? What is it? What is not flowing? Where is there tension? Where is there discomfort? Where is there, potentially a block? Just go into that area and say, well, what is it? What do I need to say here? What do I need to get out? Why am I holding this back? Just keep expressing. Mm. So Fatma is saying, left shoulder hurts and I feel sick. Nicola, I'm sure can tell you a little bit about. She's on mute right now, but when we're done, about this, feeling sick. It's like once these emotions starts releasing, the body can really start speaking. And as I said last time, um, you might feel sick for a little bit. You might feel uncomfortable because it's like emotions that we've been holding back for the longest time. You know, so. If you want to talk a little bit about it, Fatma, if you want later, even whether you want to do it privately or if you want to do it to the group, I'll be happy to explore it with you. So, what's happening for you?
I feel like I need to like clench my fist or just squeeze
Okay,
my.
clench your fists. Yeah, just do that. Clench away.
I feel like I need to push
You
some
need to what?
boundaries, to have some boundaries.
To have some boundaries. And how do you notice that? Like what's going on for you in your body? What's going on? Like, how do you know you need to have boundaries?
I feel like I need to stretch my arms and push
Yeah.
space
So
around
imagine
me.
doing that or do it. Just it's okay. Any impulse is really, really important. So just allow it to happen. And it's very important for us to reassure our clients, that it's whatever happens, it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just an impulse that's been blocked. So I, for example, had this feeling of wanting to kick. It was almost like my arms were too weak, and I didn't want to kick the person to hurt them. I just wanted them to get away from me. This is when I was working through this with my mother. So I just almost like I needed the strength of my legs to keep her at a distance, to kick her away, and which felt really strange in the beginning. But as soon as I allowed it, it was like something in me started feeling safer. It's like I was establishing boundaries. So MJ is asking, I find myself asking for a reason, just why, and the person just don't seem to want to respond or is just indifferent. So what I would say to that, it's like you're doing something it sounds like you're doing something that's very common, like you're focusing on them. Why did you do this? How is it? I want you to move as much as you can back to yourself and say, what was this like for you? Were you angry about it? Were you hurt by it? Were you scared? So it's like, as much as you can, move back to how it felt for you and tell that person how it felt for you. What are you noticing now? What's happening with your boundaries?
Mm. My hands are starting to relax a little bit.
What's that?
My hands are starting to relax a little bit.
Okay, great. How's your jaw?
It is better.
Great. Mm. Just keep expressing what you need to express. What's happening for you?
I'm feeling better.
Right. So, in what way are you feeling better?
Body is more relaxed than we started before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that there is some space around me.
Yeah. So you got some space around you.
Mm-hmm.
which is very important. The throat chakra is where we create the space between us and the world around us, energetically. Like managing our own space, our own boundaries. How close can someone get? What will you accept from them?
I'm feeling some tension around the heart chakra.
Okay, tension around the heart chakra.
Mm-hmm.
What's that tension? Just breathe into that tension.
Okay. It seems that I can't see his face.
You're saying you can't or you can?
No, I can't.
Okay. Did you see it before?
Yeah.
Mhm. Sometimes the reason why we don't express ourselves is because we're afraid of losing the person. This is the difficult thing with the work with our parents is, um, no matter how much our parents have hurt us, there is a part of us that loves them and wants to be loved by our parents and want that connection so, so badly.
Mm-hmm.
To see if you can see the face and see, anything around the heart chakra has to do with love, connection, wanting to
When
connect.
when you spoke about loss, I felt the intensity of the tension increased a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mm. What's the feeling of love like? Imagine sending love to this person. You can have love and boundaries at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But often the boundaries have to come first.
Mm-hmm. I'm imagining a boundary
Mm-hmm.
and sending love. And I can see his face again.
What's that?
And I can see his face now.
Oh, great. Great. So just send that love and hold the boundary. So how are you doing with this?
Excuse me?
How is it going for you now? What's happening?
The picture is brighter, lighter, and more, yeah, he seems more happy,
Mm-hmm.
smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great. So just for this demonstration, I think we're going to end it there.
okay.
You can keep doing this work either with one of the others or with me if you want, or but for now we're just gonna end it there. Is that okay for
Oh,
you?
Yeah, it's fine. I
Yeah?
think I'm in a good place now.
Yeah, okay. So what happened? How was that process for you?
I didn't hear you.
What's that?
I did not hear the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, how was this process for you? What happened?
Ah, at the beginning, I felt like there is no space around me, and there is no um, space to move.
Yeah.
And at the end, I felt like, yeah, there is a space and there are boundaries, and it is much more better, and I feel more relieved.
Great. Can you notice the difference, I mean, in your jaw and your solar plexus? Has
Yeah,
that changed at all?
yeah.
Yeah? Great. Wonderful. So I'm going to let you just get back to letting this settle in a little bit, and then if anyone has any questions, whether it's about the exercise itself or what's happening for you personally, and want to talk
Mhm.
about a little bit, then I can put you on. Just send a chat message or put your hand up in the room. I will move the microphone to you. Those of you who had questions, if any of you want to share some of it, I'm going to put it over to Nicola in the meantime. You there, Nikki?
Hi. Yep.
Hi. So yeah,
Hi.
hey. So yeah, Sarah Nawaf is, how do we know that that layer is now dealt with and healed? Um, it's really in how the body relaxes, and sometimes we have to do this several times with the same person. So it's a very, very good question, and uh, it really, like, if you test it by bringing that person in front of you, and see, do I still feel the same way? Is there still a charge? Is there still an energy? But we're gonna get, as we move forward, a lot more tools to help you do this, so that you can really scan that person and understand, is this issue gone or is it still there? I mean, you will literally have a way later in the process where you will totally get what's going on for a person and know what's the next layer, know what they need to clear. So yeah, great question. Um, what if the person has some difficulties with imagination? That's a great question as well. Um, I would, to work with another person, to work with a coach that keeps asking you to asking you questions and bringing you into the process, because especially if people have any kind of issues around the sixth chakra, which is the third eye, they will have difficulties in imagining things. Some people, sometimes it's the other way around. It's like they only live in a fantasy world, and they live in their head and their mind. Also, if there is a lot of difficult emotions connected to a certain person, it's like the unconscious mind does not want to go there. It does not want us to start this process. So it kind of distracts us, or says, "Oh, I can't visualize this," and because there is something in us that's finding it just too difficult. And if that's the case, you might want to try to start with another person. You might, do some other exercises to just get more comfortable with it. For me, for example, my unconscious mind would not allow me to do this process around the issues with my mother. And my mother was the one that was the most difficult person for me. And she was the last person I could confront, even if it was the most important one for my own personal healing, because it was just too hard. It was just too scary. It was just, yeah, as you're saying, a lot of resistance. And there is a reason for that, because we're opening up a can of worms. We're opening up something that can be hard, and this, we can feel sick. We can feel, like we're just distracting ourselves. We don't want to go there. We might have a lot of different reactions, and they're all normal and they're all natural. But it's really good to have a person to take us through it. I will give you a link to a guided tour that you could use for yourself and with your clients. It's like a guided meditation, but that can only take it so far. It's good in the beginning that we work with each other, work with another person, so that there is an actual person who can follow the process with you and guide you and help you and be there as support, asking you the right questions. I did want to ask Nicola about,
Yeah.
because somebody in the chat room was saying they were feeling sick. They were feeling, I think, nauseous, but I'm not sure. And her shoulder
Okay.
hurt. I mean, what was this like for you? I'm going to answer the questions. Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to answer the questions before we start, Nikki.
Yeah.
Sorry. So somebody's saying a lot of pain in the face. This is very normal because you can imagine the tension we hold in the face for two reasons. We're holding our jaw, we're locking our jaw, or also if I am scared to show the true me, somehow the subconscious mind holds on to tension in the face, tension in the head. So like as we go into it, we start feeling the pain of it, because the pain of something, can you imagine like tensing a muscle for like 10, 20, 30 years, and then it starts to release? It's going to feel uncomfortable. And that's exactly what's going on. So it's like you're going to see that this is why it's called the body transformation quest, because it happens through the body, and the body's speaking to us by showing where's the tension, where's the illness, where is this, what's going on. But we're kind of going the other way, so that instead of this manifesting as actual physical illness, because we haven't addressed it, which is what happens to a lot of people. They have these issues for a lifetime, and all of a sudden they show up as a real physical illness. While we are clearing out that stuff, but it can feel uncomfortable. We have to go into it to get through it. So yeah, Tari, it's the same thing. So you said, how do I keep the person or myself like focusing on the imagination and expressing to the other person rather than getting distracted? So this is where working with a coach is really useful. Like keep guiding the person, keep helping the person to saying, what do you see, what do you notice? And if the person can't see anything, like ask them, what do you notice in your body? What's going on? What's happening? Are you thinking about something else? Can you feel a resistance? Can you if you feel tension somewhere, and you ask the person to go into the tension, what is it? What does it feel like? So you might have to go to like almost like a deeper level and have the person really connect with the issue, because it might be very subconsciously like pushed down for them. Like for example, if a person haven't felt their anger for 20 years, there will be almost like a push-pull reaction. It's like there will be a fight going on in the body, saying, and a part of you still wants to hold that feeling back, because that's what the subconscious mind thought it had to do for survival. So we need to just keep guiding the person into the issue. Here is one of the sentences that is really important. It says, the problem is the solution. So wherever the problem is the solution. We go into it. It's like the attempted solution holds the problem in place. So how we try to go around it by fixing it in indirect ways is how the problem just stays there. So the problem is the solution. So another question, what if the person can't see himself? By that, do you mean you can't see the other person? Or do you mean like to see yourself? Because you don't need to see yourself. And if you can't see the other person clearly, that's fine. Just imagine that they're there. You don't have to see them. Yeah, so you don't want to be in third position. You don't want to see this from the outside. You want to imagine being you sitting there. So you're seeing the other person through your own eyes. Does that make sense? So back to you, my dear Nikki. So we were talking about this feeling sick,
Yes.
I know I've certainly felt really nauseous and uncomfortable, and like as things were releasing, I mean, I went from having headaches to stomach aches to a lot of different issues. I mean, at one point it was like my hips were shaking. It was like almost like a vibration in my hips for like 2 weeks. It was the strangest, almost like electric impulses, because it was like the energies were clearing, and it was so uncomfortable. And I think if I hadn't understood and known what was going on, it would have been scary. So what happened for you, Nikki?
Mine was very similar. Once I started to go into it, I was violently sick. And I had like a tightening sensation around my throat, as though somebody was.
What? Sorry?
I had a tightening sensation around my throat as though somebody was strangling me. And once I'd gone into this, and the pain sensations came into my hips, to the point where I couldn't move and I couldn't stand.
Yeah. So it was, in what way for you, like if you hadn't been part of this program and actually understood what was going on, what do you think could have happened? I mean, how would this have been for you if you weren't actually understanding what was going
on? This would have been really scary. I feel for sure that I would have been taken into hospital because I couldn't stand with the pains in my hips. But I also knew that I had to release and relax my hips to allow to feel what was going on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is it's quite difficult when you have the pains, because you want to tense, but you cure energy at the same time.
So it's so important to reassure ourselves, and maybe speak to one of the other coaches, speak to me about it if you do have any symptoms come up at all, because the faster we can go into the issue, the faster we can release the physical problems as well. And it doesn't always happen. I just want you to understand that it can happen, so that you don't get scared.
Hi, well, I think Ina's looks like she's been kicked out again, but she'll be back in a second. Does anybody mind if I just continue, I think, where Ina was heading with the conversation? I think what she was trying to say to you was that, yes, we get these pains, and they're quite scary, and they're quite... Are you back?
Please continue, Nikki.
I was just explaining that the pains are quite a natural thing to have if you happen to get them, and because it's part of the process, it's not something that you should naturally be over concerned about, but just to go through and see what's happening for yourselves.
That's great. Exactly. I mean, I know that all of the issues that I've gone through in this process are now cleared from my system. I don't I never get headaches anymore. My hips are open, relaxed. No pains there, no stomach pains or anything like that anymore. So it passes, and then it's like it's gone. It's just not an issue anymore. So it's like we don't have to manage it. Sometimes people have, like, for example, a tight neck or whatever, and they go back for massages every week because they're trying to release it. But because the core issue hasn't been released, it has to be maintained. But in this way, when we really go and release it from the core, it's gone. So MJ, do you want MJ? Are you okay if I put the microphone on you and you can ask the question? He's asking. So do you just let the sensation take over, or should you keep checking with it? Can you just tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that? What I think you mean is, I would really just keep going into the sensation, whatever feeling it is. Wherever you feel there is an issue, where the body wants to tell you something or an emotion wants to tell you something, go into it.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, MJ, I can hear you.
Hi, Nicola, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
So far, so good. Thank you for sharing. That's really amazing. My question was, what I meant by the sensation is the feelings that you get sometimes when you feel sick, or the congestion in your throat, or whatever it is that's holding you back, that's making you sick. Should you just tell yourself that this is part of the process and I should let it go? Or should you always check with the pain and go into it and say, what does this mean? At what stage am I at? Or how long is this going to take?
Right. You can do both with that, actually. That's a very good question. To go into the pain as well, and to ask what's going on and how it feels. As long as you're totally aware that the sensations that you're feeling with the emotions or the pain are part of the process. But the most important thing for me was that as I was going through these, to allow my body to relax. And sometimes they're quite scary, and sometimes they're not quite as bad. So it will depend on what level you're going into your process.
All right, thank you very much.
Does that help?
Absolutely, thank you very much. It means that, you shouldn't be afraid to explore what it means, as long as I keep assuring myself that this is part of the process and that I'm going through it. So does it just up and vanish all of a sudden, or do you find a dual receding of whatever the sensation is?
For me personally, mine have, I've probably had a couple of days where I've not been able to get out of bed, and on the third day, it's just gone. But you have to keep going into your process and feeling the sensations and the emotions and the pain and see what they're saying to you. It's also if you have your coach at hand, whether that be Ina, to go through the process as well with you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm not sure what's happened to Ina at the moment.
Can you hear me?
Right, okay, thank you, Sarah. You're
Okay,
coming up as
so
green, I think.
yeah, I'm gonna turn off the other audios just to see if that's the issue. Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can hear me now? Yay!
Yes.
Cool. Okay, great. So, sorry about that. We're learning to use this, aren't we? Okay, so yeah, so we want to go into this as much as we can, but as we move forward and we get all the different tools, you will understand. I mean, this is just one exercise where our entry point is through the throat chakra. You're going to get a lot of others so that whatever issues comes up for a person, you can clear them as fast as possible. You know, I had some symptoms that lasted for, I would say weeks, you know, but it wasn't like terrible or anything. I mean, the intense ones was usually just hours or a couple of days. But I found that the faster I could understand the message of the symptom, you know, as we move forward, you will get a list of it's like 40 consciousness issues that for an aligned person who is connected with their essence, all of these will be resolved. And they're connected to the chakras and connected to the body parts. So once you you have all of those in place, you know, you can look at the symptom, or you can connect with the symptom and say, oh, okay, which of the consciousness issues is this telling me something about? What's going on here? And then with that, it resolves faster. So the faster you can get the message, the faster the symptom will release. And that can just be, you know, if something comes up, speak to one of the others, speak to me, speak to Nikki, whoever, and just get some help to get through it as fast as possible. And, you know, the more you work through things in yourself, the more powerful, obviously, you're going to be with your clients. First of all, because your understanding will be deeper, but also because your energy field will be so much cleaner that in itself helps heal your clients much faster. So, so yeah, so I suggest what we do is just really get started with it, you know. I'm going to send you just an outline of the steps and suggestions on what to do, so that by tomorrow morning you'll have that. And then I suggest you connect with one of the other participants. Are you all okay with me sharing your emails that I have with the group?
Yes.
I mean, if anyone has an objection to that and they don't want their email out, just tell me. You know, and then connect with at least one other person and do this exercise with each other. And obviously, if you have clients or anything, the more you could use it, the better. And you'll start seeing the power of it and start seeing the different energy. So just one question. Fatma, how are you feeling now? If you would like to talk a little bit on air, we can explore it, or if you want, we can also just explore it, like, you know, in private in the next few days if you want. So please just let me know. Please message me and let me know. Any other question? Any other thoughts on, you know, that we need to cover? We're going to revisit this next week and just see how it has worked out for you. If any of you have any issues that come up that you would like to work with me on, then you can have your, you know, your private sessions, and I'm available this weekend. I'm available tomorrow. So, you know, just drop me an email and let me know. I'm here in the next few days, so I'm happy to go through it with you. So people are typing, so I'm just waiting for those messages in case you have any questions. Oh, so my voice is breaking up? Okay, so the question is, so when working with clients, can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. So when working with a client, is it safe to trust this process with them when we have less than 40 minutes? And I would say, I mean, what do you think, Nikki? I mean, this exercise can be done very quickly.
It can be done very quickly, and it can be a lengthy process. It will depend on what they're working on, I think.
Yes, and I think the most important thing is to explain what's going on to the client, because
Gone again. So I'll just answer the question that I think she was going to. It is important to trust the process and to let the client know exactly what is going on for them, and if
okay, I'm
possible
here.
why it's going on. You go.
Can you hear me now, Nikki?
Yes.
Great. So yeah, so thank you for covering that. And you know, it's just trust the process, allow, and you know, you can start this process at any time. You can even explain it to your client and have them do it themselves. Just make sure you're available if something comes up, and explain to them, you know, what might happen and how they might react, because very often they just feel better. You know, they don't, you know, it's not said that they're going to go in and feel terrible. So yeah, just explain it to your clients. They can take it away if you don't have enough time. That's okay. Just make sure they have access to you in case something comes up for them. So, any other questions before we wrap it up today? Okay, so asking where can I find the recording session? I will send you an email when you get the email with the how-to, you know, the steps. I will also give you a link to where on the website we will, where you can find the video, you know, or the videos of all the webinars. So we'll start our little library of webinars so you can revisit them if you want to. So with that, if you have yeah, the recording of this video will be up there. So I will get my tech guy, hopefully, to have that up by, you know, maybe tomorrow. It might take a couple of days. You know, we're creating the system there as well. So he just has to build that in so that I can, in the future, upload them very quickly right away. So we can build our library. And you'll also find there that we will start uploading the different audios, that, you know, the meditations that you could use. But I want you to do this exercise without the audio first, because it's really important to be able to follow the process. And when it's, you know, when it's a guided meditation, it steers it a little bit more. Right now, this is about for you to really connect with the messaging system of your own body. So yeah. How are you doing with all this, Nikki?
It's really good. Everybody is amazing. I'd just like to say everybody who's been on tonight is fabulous.
I know,
And
isn't it great?
it is. It's really nice. It's really nice.
The wonderful thing about when you get to the point where your energy field is really clear, it's like the people you attract and the people who naturally gravitate to you are just wonderful.
Yes.
They're amazing. So we have found an amazing group of people. We're very lucky.
Yes, we are.
Yay. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. If you have any questions as the week move forward, and you start doing this exercise, then you can, you know, feel free to email me. I'll share Nikki's email as well. Are you okay with that, Nikki? That, you know, people can ask you questions about it?
Yes, that's fine, of course.
Great. So, yeah, somebody are typing, but just allow them to finish. All right, so I can't see anything, so we will just, with that, just say thank you so much. And you will receive the script, but you don't need it to get started. So even as you're going to bed tonight, you might want to lie down and just see if you can, try this out. See what comes up for you. Start exploring it. And then tomorrow we'll have the details of the others and connect with at least one person and take each other through this exercise. So I will end this by playing a YouTube video for you. This one is about the throat chakra. It will be available on the site as well. So if you want to watch it, then it's here. But I will say goodbye. So after the video is over, I won't be doing any further speaking. So we'll finish it up here. And thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Thanks for helping, and thanks for saving me when I got kicked out of the system.
Oh,
That's very
okay.
kind of you. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, take care, everyone, and we'll speak to you next week. I'll probably catch up with a few of you personally over the week. So thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Tuttle, Master Energy Therapist and Chakra Mastery Trainer. And this is the Chakra Series, where we've been talking about your 7 primary chakras, which are 7 powerful energy centers that run from your pubic area all the way up the torso, through the face, up to the crown of your head. These energetic centers, for most people, cannot be seen. There's a few people that can actually see the chakras. They all resonate with a particular color because they vibrate at a particular frequency. The frequency rises. It's like a scale of energy where the frequency goes up. And today we're going to talk about your throat chakra. This is one of the upper chakras, and the frequency now has gone up, and it's now right here in the center of your throat. And when this chakra is open and balanced, you readily speak what's true for you. You're comfortable expressing yourself. You never second guess or think about, what did I say? Should I have said that? You just comfortably express your ideas and what's true for you. And you feel you have that right. And because you believe that you have that right, you actually reflect back to you that people support you. And so, if your experience is opposite of that, that's representing the throat chakra is closed or weak. Especially when you speak and then you go back and think, you go over and over and over it. You're questioning what you said and if it was okay. That's a really big sign you need to open this energy center up. Because you have a right to speak your truth. It's everyone's right and privilege to have clear thoughts and then express them so that you're not even experiencing a big delay between those thoughts and expressing them. That would be another sign that it's weak, that you have thoughts, you want to express them, but then you feel this disconnect and you actually feel this kind of tightening at the throat and you can't say what's on your mind. So saying what's on your mind in a comfortable manner, being at ease with that, is a sign your throat chakra is open. Now the color of this chakra is blue. And I'm going to just suggest any version of blue that you resonate with. I'm wearing my blue today. And if I want to support the opening of my throat chakra, it'd be a good idea for me to wear more blue. Because I'm going to add the vibration of the blue, the frequency of the color blue is actually going to feed this particular energy center. Now the energy runs from this area of the body. It's placed off your body. It comes from the body off in a funnel shape from narrow to wide. It vibrates like a disc. It's pulsating. It has a beat to it, and it's actually rotating. And a couple things you can do to open your throat chakra. Now this is a fun one. This is really fun because it's entertaining. The year we're filming this, there was an amazing movie produced that won an Academy Award for Best Actor and Best Film of the Year called The King's Speech. Now, if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. This alone, just sitting there and watching the movie, because it's so powerfully done, will open your throat chakra. So go watch The King's Speech. It's awesome. And I won't give it all away, but it is an historical account of the King of England that had a problem with stuttering. He could not speak readily. His throat chakra was challenged. I love the movie. Even incorporates some of the methods that he's taken through with his speech therapist. Those would be very supportive for you. It'd even be awesome for you to buy that movie. If this is an area of your energy that's super challenged, you really are feeling locked up here, buy the movie, pretend you're him, and do the activities when he's doing them with his speech therapist. Do them right along with him. That's going to be awesome for you. A couple other things you can do that's going to help open this throat chakra is to just 3 or 4 times. Do that with me. You can feel that right here. One more time. Hey, that's going to put a burst of energy right there. And especially do it when you're feeling locked up here. That and really let yourself just relax. Because you hold the blueprint in this energy to be able to speak your truth. When the energy's open, it's easy to do it. It's when it's closed that you're in conflict with it. So you want to open the energy so it's easy to speak your truth. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be something you do at ease. I speak my truth easily, at ease. And I invite others to speak my truth. Another helpful process. There's a good chance you were not heard as a child. You weren't able to speak your truth. You had to speak what your parents wanted you to speak or whoever you were being raised by. So I'm going to give you a little tip here. You need to start talking with your inner child. You need to write letters to little Susie or Sally or Bob. So I've done this in my life. I actually wrote letters to little Carol. I got a journal and I took my dominant hand, which is my right hand, and I write, "Dear little Carol, you didn't get to say what you wanted to say when you were little. I'm really excited to hear from you. Please write me back and tell me about yourself." Now I take my left hand, because it's my non-dominant hand, and I'd start writing, "Dear Big Carol." And I'd write whatever came out. Now, a couple things happen. When you're using your non-dominant hand, it taps into your right brain, which is going to access your emotions, which is your inner child. And it's also going to mimic a child's handwriting. And you're going to start having this dialogue with your emotional self that your child self is really the carrier of. And you're going to start writing back and forth. And you're going to see what comes up. And you're going to start hearing your child self and what she has to say or he has to say. And as you pay attention and you give honor and respect to what the inner child of you has to say, it's going to open up this throat chakra. This is a powerful process. You really need to give yourself time to do it. So go for it with that. Let's do some things right now to get this throat chakra open and working for you. Let's again get our ball of energy going. Rub your hands together. Feel that energy pulsating. Feel a ball of blue. We're going to work with blue today. Whatever size serves you. We're going to bounce that ball right in the throat chakra. Again, your own rhythm. Do your own rhythm. Whatever beat feels right to you. And we're going to speak affirmations that represent the truth of your expression. I am speaking my truth. I am speaking my truth with ease. I am received. I am supported in speaking my truth. I am comfortable speaking my truth. My thoughts are clear and I easily express them. I have a clear mind of what's right for me. I speak it effortlessly. I honor others speaking their truth. I respect everyone and the truth that they express. I am an honest expression of my true self. My throat chakra is open. My mind is clear. I am comfortable in the expression of me. I am grateful for the ease in which I express myself. Deep breath. Nice job. Just do the rotation of the energy. You can even do an infinity sign. You can do it this way, whatever feels good to you. Let your energy direct you. Now imagine it's just opening, opening, opening. Boom, it's wide open. Nice job. Keep doing this. Keep supporting your energy getting in place. Your energy wants to have truth as its habit, meaning its truth is to be open, to be free, to be supporting you, and that's the habit you want it to form. So you got to do these techniques to create those new habits. Oh, check out the Chakra 7 Home Study course at chakrahealing.com, where you're going to find a lot more rockstar help with your chakras to help you really optimize the power of you, your subtle energies, your chakra system, to create the abundant life that's just waiting for you to step into it. Thanks.